Right, so episode 8 of the Amazing Digital Circus is just around the corner, and honestly, I think loads of people are getting the wrong idea about what this episode's actually going to be. Everyone knows it's picking up directly after that massive cliffhanger in episode 7, and yes, it's setting things up for the big finale. But here's the thing, what we're actually going to see might surprise you. Today, I want to walk through what I reckon are the 4 most important aspects that'll completely reshape how you think about this next episode. Now, I know this sounds dead obvious, but bear with me because it matters. Every previous episode of Digital Circus has eased us in quite gently, right? A bit of setup, some character moments, then off we go on whatever adventure Caine's cooked up. But episode 7 left us hanging, literally mid-crisis. And since episodes 7 and 8 are essentially 2 halves of one bigger story, we're jumping straight back into that chaos. Picture it. Everyone's absolutely reeling from what just happened. They're shocked, they're angry, and they haven't had time to process any of it yet. That's exactly where episode 8 opens. But here's what I think happens next. Someone's going to step up and actually get everyone talking properly. And this is going to be the first real moment where all these characters, who've been stuck together but never truly united, actually come together as a group. There's this leaked frame that's been confirmed as official, and it shows what looks like a memory sequence with Ragatha and Kinger. Ragatha's standing on that stage, where new arrivals first appear in the circus. Now, given everything she's been through and where she is in that scene, I genuinely think Ragatha's going to be the one who pulls everyone out of their spiral. We're going to see a completely different side to her character. Someone who, despite her own struggles, manages to get everyone to open up and share their experiences. It's going to be a properly emotional moment that helps the group find some kind of stability again. Think about how these characters have interacted up until now. Even when they still had hope of escaping, they were constantly at each other's throats. Remember Zubul and Jax? Practically every episode has shown us how this lack of unity and trust has stopped them from even attempting to work together on anything meaningful. Episode 8 is where that changes. This is the episode where they finally start functioning as an actual team. And if characters like Zubul and Jax, who've been antagonistic from day one, can actually find common ground, then suddenly escaping the circus doesn't seem quite so impossible anymore. Here's something interesting. Every single episode so far has featured some kind of adventure or challenge, right? Even episode 7, which felt more introspective, still had that whole day at the beach scenario. But episode 8, I'm almost certain this will be the first episode since the show began that takes place entirely within the circus tent itself. No external adventure whatsoever. This episode is about the characters, their relationships, and preparation for what's coming. It's going to be more intimate, more focused on dialogue and character development rather than spectacle. With Kinger now back to his stable, coherent state, we're finally going to see who he really is. We've only caught tiny glimpses across previous episodes, those brief moments of clarity where his intelligence and depth shine through. Now we're getting a full episode of capable, knowledgeable Kinger. And this is crucial, because Kinger was one of the original developers of the Digital Circus. He understands how this place works on a fundamental level. I reckon after everyone returns to their rooms following the opening chaos, it'll be Kinger who brings them all back together, probably because he's realized something important. Here's where it gets really interesting. Kinger knows a lot about how the circus functions, but he didn't create it alone. He can't possibly know every single detail. But what if Kinger specialized in understanding abstraction during development? What if he actually knows how that process works? With Caine potentially glitching or malfunctioning after the events of episode 7, Kinger might be able to use that knowledge to do something extraordinary, possibly even reversing abstraction for some characters. And who better to help identify those glitches and problems than Zubul, who's brilliant at spotting flaws and giving feedback. There's been loads of speculation about characters like Queenie, Kaufmo, and others potentially returning. If my theory about Kinger understanding abstraction is right, then bringing back certain characters becomes a real possibility. Specifically, I think Kaufmo and another developer might be the first ones restored, because they, like Kinger, were original developers with crucial knowledge about different aspects of the circus. These returning characters won't just be nostalgic cameos, they'll serve a real purpose, adding their technical expertise to help formulate an actual escape plan. Imagine this scene. All the characters, including returned developers, sitting together and actually collaborating. They're going through everything strange they've noticed about Caine, every odd glitch, every unusual reaction to seemingly normal things. Everyone contributes, from the highly technical developers right down to Gangle, who probably doesn't understand the technical side, but might have noticed something important nonetheless. This collective effort is what Episode 8 is building toward. Not dramatic action sequences or wild plot twists, but genuine teamwork and problem solving. I want to be clear about something. Don't go into Episode 8 expecting non-stop excitement or massive revelations. Yes, it's the penultimate episode before the finale, but its role is preparation and character development. It's going to be relatively calm, focused on letting us understand these characters more deeply and watching them finally form genuine connections with each other. There won't be major arguments or dramatic misunderstandings. Everyone's working toward the same goal now: escape. Well, almost everyone. Jax has been a tricky one, hasn't he? Episode 7 made it pretty clear he's not exactly desperate to leave the circus, but Episode 8 is going to be pivotal for his character arc. The return of characters like Kaufmo, who clearly meant something to Jax in their previous life, is going to change his perspective entirely. When Jax realizes he could escape alongside friends from before, continue those relationships in the real world, he's going to throw himself into the escape plan wholeheartedly. We might even see him emerge as one of the leaders of the group. Episode 8 will show us a Jax we haven't really seen before, and I think that's going to be one of the most satisfying character developments in the entire series. And then there's Caine. For so long, he seemed like an AI genuinely trying his best to care for and entertain everyone. But lately, things have shifted. He's becoming frustrated, almost desperate. The ending of Episode 7 showed us a side of Caine we've never seen: genuine fear. That fear is going to manifest in Episode 8 through increased glitching and a sort of detachment from the residents. But here's his problem. Caine is literally programmed to entertain the circus residents. He can't stop, even when they clearly don't want anything to do with him anymore. This contradiction between what he's supposed to do and what's actually happening might finally push him over the edge. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a scene of Caine alone, almost having an existential crisis, trying to understand why everything that used to work perfectly is now falling apart. So there you have it. Episode 8 isn't going to be the explosive, action-packed penultimate episode you might expect from other shows. Instead, it's going to be something more thoughtful, a proper exploration of these characters finally coming together, understanding each other, and preparing for whatever comes next. It's about transformation. Ragatha stepping up, Jax finding genuine motivation, the group becoming a real team, and Caine potentially unraveling. All of this is setting the stage for what promises to be an absolutely massive finale in Episode 9. What do you reckon? Does this change how you're thinking about the next episode? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I genuinely love to hear your theories and predictions. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, give it a like, and subscribe for more Digital Circus content. Cheers for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.